a Loom video, let's say record a fast Loom video, 2 minutes or something, describe my problem, sending to the other person, and the other person is going to get back to me.
If I'm a female leader in a male-dominated industry, how do I navigate through this?
When you don't have, logic or something, or you don't have training, or you don't have coaching, or any other beast, you make mistakes.
How do you become empathetic as a leader, and how do you train empathy? All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the RKL Leadership Podcast, where we help empower leaders through the sharing of our knowledge, experience, and inspiring stories. I'm your host, Rob Cameronpour, and my special guest today is Giannis Chatzidis, and he is the founder of Post-Heroic Leadership and the lead data scientist at Ultim AI. I will let him introduce himself shortly, but before you do that, I'd like to say thank you very much again for being on my podcast and sharing your stories with the world and your experience. So I greatly appreciate it and welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you for this warm and lovely intro, Rob. It's my total pleasure for being here today with you. A short intro about myself. Yeah, as you said, I'm Giannis. I'm from Greece. I'm a lead data scientist the last 5 years, and 1 year ago, actually, I founded the Post-Heroic Leadership. It's like a coaching company. Mostly, I empower leaders, rookie leaders. So leaders from, let's say, people that are really want to go to a leadership position, like in 6 months, let's say from now, until leaders who are, let's say, already in a leadership position, but they feel they lack of self-confidence, so they really want to go to the next step. To look in the mirror and say, "Yeah, you are really, really strong to do this."
Awesome. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. So before we get into the leadership aspect of our conversation, Giannis, why don't we start off with you telling us a little bit about your story and how you got to the leadership world?
Oh, yeah, big question. Big question, and I will try to keep it short. So, everything started when I joined this company in the Netherlands remotely. So we're a remote first company. And I was like an intern back then when I initially joined 6 years ago or something, because I did, let's say, a career transition from web development to data science. I got a full paid job remotely again. And one day a big bomb exploded in the company. The big investor was gone. And a lot of people also got fired back then. And I left the only person in the company, the only person in my team. And after a few months, I was like the only employee. So I was starting leading without having the word leader in my title, because a whole team started, building around me and the founders back then. And so I did everything from recruiting people, leading them, project development. And, this is how leadership, I think, came into my life. And, I still feel that, it just came here to fill a missing piece of my inner puzzle, because, I really wanted it. But that was, the spark moment that I said, okay, yeah, now you're doing this.
Nice. No, that's excellent. And, you and I have talked a little bit about that. So I want to ask you some specific questions with respect to, you know, the aspect that you were able to become a leader without a title, which is again very important. As I always say, you don't need a title to lead, and a leader, having a title doesn't make you a leader. Um, you also talked about not receiving any training while going into the leadership role. How difficult and challenging was that, and how did you overcome, not having any of this training going in?
Stressed. Does that stress? So yeah, in general, I'm super emotional as a person.
Ah,
So this is my number one, driver in my life. So sometimes this is good and bad. In my personal life, I feel it's good. In business world, it's bad because you have to have a balance between logic and emotions in
yes,
general. Emotions is like you get decisions from the emotions and psychological speaking, and after that you validate these decisions with your logic. But when you don't have logic or something, or you don't have training, or you don't have coaching or any other beast, you make mistakes, and this is how you learn. I think this is the only way. This is the only route that you can get. So yeah, I did a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of mistakes with people. I did a lot of mistakes with projects. I lost clients. I lost money. Yeah, it's like I think this is the only way, because if you don't, dive deeper into something that you are passionate about with, and you are not able to see, how it looks like.
that's right. Absolutely. So what would your advice be to, younger people who want to get into leadership roles and again don't have that training? What's the best way to attain that training prior to, becoming a leader?
Yeah, I would say what I would say to my younger self. It's like when I remember myself, I was like, I had a lot of challenges, and the first thing that I did is like I bought a leadership course. I
Mm,
think it was on Coursera back then, and because I was feeling really inadequate as a leader. Fast forward to now, I still feel inadequate as a leader. So one course won't change your life.
that's
You
right.
know, one course won't, yeah, definitely change your life. So, but one coach will. So,
Mm,
what I would propose, suggest, or something, it's like find your missing puzzle, your missing piece of your inner puzzle, and be self-aware about what it's missing. Or if you don't self-aware, if you are not self-aware, because this is also fine, because you cannot, if you are inside the pool and you can't swim, you don't know what's missing, from you. You don't need, a velvet or something. Probably you don't know what you need.
that's right.
So what I would say is like sharing without adhesion everything. Sharing your thoughts, sharing your wins, your mistakes, your challenges, sharing everything with your team. And yeah, this is the only way to go. If you're going to go alone, you will go slowly and slowly and slowly. If you're going to go far, go with your team, and be truly, truly, truly transparent. And transparency for me is like sharing everything in public, whatever it means, like salaries, numbers, vision, purpose, clients' words, just try to create a culture and an environment where everyone is like feel heard. I know that, it feels logical, and, it's like a trend nowadays. Everyone needs to be heard and valued, etc. But the main definition behind this is to involve everyone in everything,
Yeah.
in decision making, in initiatives. Like, I think this is it, involve everyone to everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, Giannis. So I'll get to the pieces of that puzzle. But I want to go back to, you mentioned, you were emotional, and it's you do have to control your emotions. I think even in your personal life as well as your professional life. How did you go about controlling your emotions when it came to leadership? What did you like? How did you train yourself to control your emotions?
Um, I don't. I don't train myself. Yeah, I'm. It's like it's what I said in the beginning. I'm mostly emotional driven, and it never changes in world is like people in human psychology. This is like a fundamental. Fundamentally speaking, if you start with from human psychology and study human psychology, you can be an expert in everything. This is my honest opinion or something. So the only way, the only thing that I do usually is like to to take some time back from the problem, from the challenge or something, and to ask myself some questions. I'm meaning like, is it that helpful for me? How
Yeah.
is it going to affect my life in let's say 1 month from now? It's like kind of controlling how I feel and how I would like to feel.
Hmm.
It's like this is the current situation. I feel sad, and this is the situation where I would like to be, which is I really want to be happy because nobody wants to be sad. And okay, so what can I do to bridge this gap? You know, do my actions fulfill my purpose? Do my action fulfill where I really want to go? If no, change my actions.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh, I think this is it. At least this is works for me. I don't say that this works for everyone, but yeah, it's usually what works for me is like to take a step back from where I am. To try to go out of my body and to see myself, let's say, from a big picture or something, and from there, to validate what's working and what it's not.
Excellent. So when it also comes to leadership, the emotional side, I think you'll agree with me that empathy is very important from a leadership perspective. How do you become empathetic as a leader, and how do you train empathy to young leaders?
Yeah, nice question. Um, yeah, inside my team, I would say I don't want to lead someone just for leading. I don't want to lead someone to be a new leader.
Mhm.
Inside my 5 years of experience in leading, a part of creating a five-figure company, I've created three new leaders, either inside the team or they they went to other companies, etc.
Nice.
And you know I think empathy is one of the major characteristics of a leader,
Mhm.
which is super true. But on the other side, it's super important to understand what empathy means to you. Because okay, there is a general definition about empathy. Put yourself in other shoes, blah blah blah. But okay, how can I do that? It's like okay, I'm going to wear your shoes, but how I'm going to wear your shoes as Giannis or as Rob?
Yeah.
This is the tricky part, I think. Because if you go, let's say, out there and you want to fire someone, for example, let's say, and okay, you say, okay, I'm going to show empathy, but you have to show empathy, wear Rob's shoes and say, okay, Rob is like renting a house. It's like in another country.
Mhm.
It has some personal issues because as a leader, I feel that you have to know them. You have to create, let's say, a personal relationship with your team members, not friendship. If you don't want that, it's fine. But just a personal connection
Connect.
about what, how does your personal life look like? What are you struggling with? And we now wear Rob's shoes and say, okay, if I fire Rob at the moment, how Rob will feel, you know? And it's like usually what I do is like how to say, I play a game with my team, which is like the empty chair. This is how it's called. And in every meeting, we have, let's say, okay, we are in a virtual environment, of course, but we assume that there is an empty chair somewhere, and this empty chair is like either investors or clients or stakeholders or founders, blah, blah. And, we turn virtually to this chair and we say, okay, what could you say? What do you say? What's your opinion on that? And this is a really cool game to help people, to really feel how others feel, and what, this client probably is going to tell on this part would be satisfied, would be happy, would be sad, and, this is like a game. Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, leadership is a game. It should be fun, not boring, not something, it drains you from energy or something. So I think this is a really cool game that, helps us a lot. So yeah, highly recommended.
So just to be clear, you guys create this empty chair, and you guys each take a turn to kind of pretend you're the customer client and what your feedback would be to yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
That is a cool game. I like that. And it does. It gives you different perspectives. It's like brainstorming in a sense.
Yeah.
Very nice. Excellent. I love the way you talked about transparency. I think one of the things a lot of leaders struggle with, and I've seen this throughout my career, is that transparency, which causes a lot of friction, a lot of rumors to start in an organization, and people always get secondhand news, which they don't feel good about it. Now, why do you think some leaders have this tendency not to share things right away, or to skew certain data or facts? And what is the fear behind it?
If it's fear, actually, if it's not fear, it's usually ego. Ego of, I failed, and I'm a leader, and I cannot fail. But this is not true. If it's fear, it's like, let's say, it's fear of, I am like a gladiator inside an arena, and I cannot lose. I cannot lose this war, So if I share publicly about, my mistakes, or, about data, or about this losing client, probably I'm going to lose the trust of my team. I think this is the first thought that I made in the past as well, because I was thinking, okay, I'm going to share this thought that I lost this client, or this meeting didn't go well with a client, and probably we're not going to sign it.
Yeah.
Okay, but how the others are going to feel? Probably they're going to think that I'm inadequate again, or I'm like, I'm a fraud or something like that. And yeah, of course, this is the first thought, and after that it goes with, probably I'm not going to share because nobody is going to learn it. So why to share it? What is going to lose? So I think this is mostly the fear of not feeling addressed as a fraud.
Very good. I like that. So Giannis, you talked about multiple failures in your journey. I want you to take us back, and if you could go through all your failures, what are some key lessons that you've learned from those failures that you can share with the audience today?
Key lessons. Yeah. First of all, you have to fail. This is the first key lesson, I think. Not, consciously let's say. I'm gonna fail now, but mostly about to have the attitude that okay, I failed now. What can I learn from that? So to not fail again. Sounds easy and sounds really obvious. Everyone is like, okay, I'm failed. Uh, that's it. But I feel through my coaching experience, I've seen a lot of leaders who are not, are not applying the reverse engineering. Reverse engineering meaning like, okay, I failed. What can I learn from my mistake? Okay, I won. What did I learn from my winning? It's not about opening champagnes and drinking about a big achievement, but it's mostly about, get some lessons out of them, you know. So I think this is the second big lesson to apply reverse engineering in everything. This is not because let's say, I'm in a tech field, but I think reverse engineering works well in in totally everything, in product design, in sales, in marketing, in everything. Get again a step back, so see what went well, what didn't, and apply again. Get your own feedback, in other words.
That's right.
Yeah, and sorry, and and also I think the third one uh, is how to explain it. It's mostly about getting in there and not having second thoughts, not having second thoughts about I'm an imposter, probably super common. I don't have confidence, etc. So second thought, if you really wanted to be in this position, and if you really want to make an impact to other people, because if as a leader, not as a manager, because for me there are different roles. As a leader, you have you are like a father. I don't know if that makes sense. To me, it makes sense. Uh, but you're like a father of some people, like babies, children, etc. And you're really not only emotional about them, but you really have to take care of them for somehow. And not only about those people, but also the families of those people. If you fire a person, you fire a whole family. If you
Yeah,
hire a person, you hire a whole family. So you are really responsible about everyone.
that's right. In a way, indirectly, you definitely are, and that's a great point you make. So fast forward, you've led virtual teams for over 5 years. Can you tell us what were the main challenges of leading remote teams, and again, how did you overcome these challenges, and how do you create engagement in virtual teams?
Mm. A lot of questions in one. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is communication.
Mm.
Probably you are gonna say, okay, Giannis, but in communication challenges are in office as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, but it's super easy to go to another desk and see another person working, or ask a fast question or something. I think communication together with loneliness, I would say, because there are a lot of times that you feel super lonely, that your best friend is your laptop, and you don't have anyone to speak, to talk, to have an informal discussion, to have a you know, to have some fun, etc. So I think communication is the biggest obstacle, the biggest challenge in remote teams, leading remote teams. And what we did is like having asynchronous communication. So sending a lot of videos asynchronously.
Ah,
Yeah. So, if I have a problem, it's better to describe it via, let's say, a Loom video. Let's say record a fast Loom video, 2 minutes or something, describe my problem, send it to the other person, and the other person is going to get back to me with another video. I don't have to watch the video today, but I know that the solution is there and it's waiting for me. And with this way, you don't waste time for meetings, which like super time wasters and energy drainers. So yeah, we don't have. Yeah, in the beginning we had some meetings. We had daily stand-ups, etc. Everything that a common company usually has. But currently, we are super based on asynchronous communication. Okay, we have Slack for something urgent or something, but I think sending videos asynchronously with your team and explaining every single detail of something you want is the best way, because usually when you write something, you're going to forget something, or or your language won't be so clear.
No, that's great. These are absolutely great points. And I was going to ask before you even answer that question, is if you're sending videos, why not just get on a Teams meeting and have that dialogue? But those are valid points that you brought up. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I want to dive in now to the fun part of our conversations, which is your specialty, AI. So I want to talk about AI and leadership.
Cool.
Where do you see the future of leadership with AI?
Oh, okay. Future of leadership with AI. Yeah, great question. Let's say, I don't know, probably a monogram of a leader, just to not have excuses of jet lag after big trips or something. Yeah, yeah. I think in general it's really important to embrace AI and not run away of it. Because personally, I'm not afraid of AI. I'm afraid of people of using AI, not people of creating AI. It's totally different. People of using AI and how much people are aware about, what this tool is, or how this tool is going to help me, etc. So I think that the future of leadership in AI, it's mostly about helping and robusting leaders to understand better their teams and their team members. This could be via tools like expressing or monitoring the behavior, not with a bad way. Again,
Yeah.
not about monitoring what every person is doing or something, but uh, to grab some data about how this person is motivated and how this person is paralyzed. And this is really insightful of, for example, how to give feedback to someone, because the purpose of giving feedback is to motivate someone, not to paralyze someone. But if you give feedback to everyone with the same way, someone is going to motivate it, someone is going to paralyze.
Yes.
It's not about screaming to everyone and okay, yeah, I'm motivated, I'm gonna work now. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is a great example of gathering individual data and see their behavior in probably screaming, their behavior or of taking care of them, their behavior of giving feedback with a negative way, or giving feedback with a positive way. And see how people react.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this question, and I'll be the devil's advocate here. Don't you think collecting that kind of data becomes more impersonable when you're giving feedback to somebody, is some data you've collected, from AI versus you actually, or your supervisors, managers, actually, getting that feedback live, or observing what, people are doing on your team and collecting that data kind of personally versus having a machine do it?
Yeah, but do you think that every leader currently knows how to give feedback?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Do you think that every leader nowadays, let's say, knows how to motivate their teams?
No.
Okay, so this could be helpful to know how to motivate them?
Yeah. So you're basically saying, yeah, use it as a tool.
Yeah.
And here's how you do it. But still have that personal touch to it as well.
Yeah, of course. Not to give feedback via a robot or something, but to collect the data to learn the other person.
Exactly.
And after that, go there as a human being and give feedback. Because now you have, let's say, a better figure about this person, about how the other feels,
Yes. Don't print out a sheet and email it to them and say, here you go.
No. And of course, you don't have to wait the 6 month or the 3 month review to give feedback.
Good.
This, because this is probably a weekly collection of data, and after that you are ready to give weekly feedback, daily feedback, whatever.
So
Why not?
I'm gonna ask you another question with respect to this. How would you collect that data though?
Personally,
Yeah.
yeah. Personally, I'm a big fan of the 60-second leadership. So usually I collect the data through my one-to-ones. This is my best time of the week. And I love my one-to-ones with my team members. So I ask the questions that I need and they need in order to get the data, to know how to give them a feedback, to know what it motivates them, and to know what paralyzes them.
So you're collecting the data through actual one-on-ones.
Yes, everything.
So
Yeah.
it's not like a microphone set up on their computer, collecting data daily on their.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
I won't get into that discussion here. So the next question I had for you, and I think this is in the back of a lot of people's minds. Do you think, and I think you and I talked about this previously, do you think AI will ever take over a leader's role?
No, because again, I strongly believe that the leadership role is a human role, and a robot cannot replace a leader that not is driven by emotions like me, but a robot cannot really specializing in how to speak, how to feel, how to embrace someone, how to give a hug, because this is also part of leadership sometimes, or all of this stuff. Again, AI can be, let's say, a great tool, and it should be used as a tool to collect some data in every field, but not to replace human beings in positions that emotions and human connection is required.
100%. And then you also talked about embracing data, which was, I was going to ask you that. So when you're embracing AI, how do we prepare for AI as a leader? You come in, how do you prepare for this new wave?
Yeah, I mean, how do you prepare as a person to to an AI? The ChatGPT is the new era, or all of this LLM stuff and models. So I feel the only way to get prepared for something is like to follow, not to follow a trend, but by the book, but to be open actually to use everything. To be open about how it's you are open to get feedback from your team members, right?
Yes.
If you are open to get feedback from your team members, you are open the same way you have to be open, to use ChatGPT, for example, not to replace some of your activities, but to make them faster, to make you more productive, not to replace your brain and your mind, because I feel that sometimes, and in some cases, ChatGPT and other tools have replaced our minds, not our tasks. And this is a different task, So does ChatGPT, for example, is a tool for you, or you are a tool of it?
Yeah. Because it's easy to get caught up in it, and then you stop thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
we're doing this bot thing for you, and it's scary because you can become numb from it because you don't need to do anything anymore. You become complacent now.
Yeah. Exactly. No, yeah. Don't be, so solution driven in terms of, okay, I have this challenge, I want a solution, let's go to ChatGPT. Okay, just use your mind, your brain first, Probably the best solution is in front of you. You have the data, yeah, but you don't have the solution. You just to dig deeper a bit.
I think it's a great training tool as well for people that want to learn how to write, want to structure, their writing a little bit better. It's like you said, it's a tool that we can use to make improvements on ourselves, but it shouldn't be replacing you in terms of your mind and thinking, etc. So those are great points. So Giannis, you've been in this world, a little longer than most people have. So far, what is the data showing us?
The truth.
Which is?
I- Sorry.
Which is?
Yeah, I think data never lies. Yeah, in terms of, yeah, it depends on the field actually. We are using data in real estate, for example, at Ultimate AI. So we are able to predict better housing prices by using just data, whatever it means, textual or images. So yeah, I think data says us the truth, and we can use data in order to get fast predictions about the present and sometimes about the future as well. Not about predicting the future or something like we are not Calhas or something, but we are able to see the best value about the present and to be as accurate as possible about what we have to do or what it's needed to be done, for example.
Yeah, like
I
forecast.
think, yeah, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so moving away from AI to back to more leadership specific.
Yeah.
In your opinion and in your journey so far, how do you empower leaders?
Yeah, 3 months ago, my first program birthed. It's called Leadership Apex, and I'm so proud of it. And yeah, the way that I teach leaders what I know, and I give them my brain or something. It's like via coaching. I think this is my way because there are a lot of beasts out there, like mentors, consultants, everything. But coaching is what fits to my personality, and I don't want to be an advisor out there or to give advices. Personally, I don't like advices. Yeah, and my personal motto is don't be a carbon copy leader of advices. Be the best leader version of yourself, because yeah, we live in the era of a lot of info, a lot of information, a lot of free information, and we try to copy and paste a lot of things to our lives without even evaluating them. Does it fit to my personality, to my way of thinking, to my way of acting, or it's like another, just noise?
Yeah.
So, and I think via coaching, every person and especially leaders are able to find what they work for them and for their teams. And this is exactly what Leadership Apex is. It's not about, if you know how to lead, it's more harmful if you come to me than you have no idea about leadership.
Yeah.
I really want to go with you from crawling to walking, like a baby. This is my goal.
Nice. And you mentioned a great point. You cannot copy anybody, and you got to remain your authentic self, because if you're not authentic as a leader, people will figure you out at one point, and then
Yeah.
it's game over.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like it takes a lot of time to build trust, and you can lose it in just 1 second.
Snap a second. Yes. So I see you talk about, and you've written about doubt to confidence. How do you go from doubt to confidence?
Yeah, there is not one magic formula or one magic, let's say, definition about this. Mostly it's about relaxing and enjoy the journey. This is usually the first step, is because there are a lot of s- societal beliefs, limiting beliefs, like you are too young, you don't have experience. It's like when I started as a leader, I was listening from my friends, relatives, family. It's like, you are 28. You have, let's say, 3 years of experience. You can't be a leader. You don't have, yeah, you shouldn't have the word leader in your title. It's like for marketing purposes. And I felt embarrassed because, like, okay, why not? I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I'm passionate about, and I'm doing okay as good as I can. So yeah, who's judging me? Why are you judging me or something? And yeah, I think that there are a lot of limiting beliefs out there about, you know, in some cases about female leaders as well. You are a female leader, you are you are not able to be a leader. But yeah, I still believe that women leaders have more potential about men leaders. Don't judge me, don't get me wrong about this, but I feel that because from their construction, they are more empathetic as as people, and empathy is like a super viable ingredient in leadership.
For sure.
And what women leaders tend to do is like they became super strong and super arrogant just to create, let's say, a wall just to defend all of these limiting beliefs, especially from men.
Yeah.
It's like so yeah, to come back to your question, is like enjoy the journey and look in the mirror and say, you're going to make it. You,
Right.
you are making results. You are making money. Yeah, you have a team. You love it. Just repeat after me.
Yeah. To keep telling yourself, that you're good enough, and you're gonna make it. Like you said, you just have to be positive in your mind, right?
Yeah,
Excellent. So I just want to touch base on that, the female leader part, because I get into a lot of discussions with respect to male and female leadership. To me personally, I think if you're a leader, that word leader applies to both. I don't see the difference between male, and we try to segregate it in society. And I think that's where a lot of the walls and self-doubt and everything comes up, because I get this question asked a lot. If I'm a female leader in a male dominated industry, how do I navigate through this? You can't think of it as you're a female leader in a male dominated industry. You have to think about it that you're a leader in an industry,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you
yeah,
got to keep
exactly.
telling yourself that, and you'll
Yeah,
make
exactly.
right. So, but I do understand what you're saying. From a more empathetic perspective, women are more nurturers than men are in from a biological perspective. So that does make sense. Um, Before we wrap up the show, we've reached a segment of my rapid fire questions. So I'll be firing some questions to you, and
Yeah,
you just give me the first answer that comes to your mind, and we'll take it from there. So I think we went through this. Should we fear or embrace AI?
embrace.
Okay. What is your number one advice for young leaders?
Number one advice. Yeah, from when to start. Yeah, be yourself. Don't copy and paste.
Okay.
And one course won't change your life. One coach will.
Excellent. What is your unconventional definition of leadership?
Ooh, unconventional definition.
So, like, what's your version of what leadership means to you?
Yeah. Um, a journey with it's like being Uh, Initially, it looks like being alone in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and somehow, magically, a big boat with your team members comes and save your ass.
I love that. Excellent answer. So, what is the biggest gap in leadership today, and that we need to focus on?
Communication.
Excellent. And where can people find Giannis?
On LinkedIn, on my personal profile, you can find a lot of about me and my program. Yeah, and I would happy to support everyone out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time to share your valuable experience and insight today. I greatly appreciate it. I learned a lot myself from you today. So, for those who have any questions for Yanis, please drop them in the comments section below, and I'll make sure he gets it and he can answer it for you, or you can reach out to him directly and ask any questions that you have. Once again, Yanis, thank you so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate it, and hope you have a lovely day.
You too, Rob. It was my pleasure, and thank you very, very much for your invitation again. And happy Easter.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Happy Easter, everyone, and we'll talk to you guys on the next podcast.